that the people who have got a membership to the Successful Table Club do the things they hate first.
It's all about the preparation, and quite often the preparation can take twice as long as the actual painting.
Ooh, your dream killer.
I'll say, like my making a bed thing. That's not hard, but I always do it every day because it's a job off the list. It's done. I've started positively that I'm doing things, and it's getting out of that mindset and just taking it step by step, getting it done, and realising actually at the end of that hour or that hour and a half, I'll feel great that it's done.
4, 3, 2, 1, get out of bed! Get out of bed! Get out of bed!
Inspiration Nation. Hello, Lee Kemp here for another week on the podcast, as always with my very good friend Jose Noya. Unfortunately, we are without Ryan Boniface this week. There is a scheduling conflict, but hopefully me and Joe can steady the ship and keep it going this week for us. How are you, Joe?
I'm good. Okay, I'm good. I'm sorry about this. I'm good. How are you, Lee? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. We're excited this week. So this is our first week, normally 8:30 or thereabouts. It's more like 8:45 now. We go live on Instagram. We are now switching and we are live on TikTok, and we will see how that goes. Just look for Jose _InspirationNation, and you can follow us on TikTok. Obviously, follow Joe. Get in with the daily videos. We are well over 1,000 on them now, and see what's going on. And of course, you can follow the show across platforms at Listen2IN, ListenTOIN. Right, Joe, what are we talking about this week? Because I think it is your subject.
It is my subject. It's doing the things that you hate first. So this is the thing that I got an idea as, again, from the lovely Marissa Peer, who is a therapist. She's a counsellor, CBT. She's mushed it all together and created a therapy. I can't remember exactly what the name of the therapy is, but it's about, she come up with this therapy that helps people get beyond their beliefs, recognising beliefs that hold them back. But what I really loved about what she was talking about was that she was talking about that the people who have got a membership to the Successful Table Club do the things they hate first. They get things out of the way that they hate first. So for one of my things is, Lee knows I hate getting in the grass. I don't like getting up in the morning. I struggle getting up, but I get up early because I know it's necessary. And the thing that drives me is that I want Inspiration Nation to be a success. I want Inspiration Nation to help people, inspire people in the morning, to get them up in the morning, get them up every single day. So every single day, as you know, Lee, I do a video in the morning before I go to my day job. I'll do a video in the morning to help people become successful and to help people feel inspired. All right. That's what I do. That is what I'm going to do. And that's what I do every single day. So I do an intention, a different lesson every day. So over 1,000 videos. I can't remember what it is now. Is it 1,009? Is it?
Somewhere in that region we are now, I think. Yes, 1,009, 1,010 days in a row of these little bite-sized bits of inspiration for people.
So in the morning, get my morning routine done. That's what gets me through. That gets me through to recording, those videos. And I have to do that morning routine. And that for me is, part of this. Part of my routine of getting up every day. I really struggle with it. It's hard to get up, but that is something that I don't like to do, but I do it, right? I do it. I do my journaling. And by the end of that routine, I'm on my way doing my videos. And that's going to hope, want to help somebody feel inspired, right? Feel inspired. That's what this whole thing, Inspiration Nation, is about. But not just like the big things, like I'm going to climb a mountain tomorrow. No, it's about the everyday little things we hate doing that we procrastinate on, right? Things that we procrastinate on. So for me, I've had posts through the door about my life insurance, things like that, or, having to go to dentist, things like that. These little things we put off. And if we don't deal with them, they just get worse. So Marissa always talks about, if you do the things you hate first, get them out of the way. It might be a difficult conversation. It might be decorating. You know what I mean, Lee, in a minute. It might be that. It might be even that, right? But it's just doing those. It's a membership. There is a specific membership to the club of highly successful people that they do those difficult things. They demand discipline themselves to do those things they don't like first. So, Lee, what are your thoughts?
Well, you touched on it there, Joe. We people out there, we normally have a bit of a half hour or so preamble, get to catch up on the week, see how we're doing. the shorter one this week due to me because I was going to be late. Reason I was late is I'm doing a bit of decorating right now, as you know, in your reference there, Joe. And I think I've done a bit of that this week. So I think it's week, and I think I've used this as an analogy on previous podcasts. Go back in the archives, people, get some analogy gold from me in there. InspirationNation.org.uk. It's all about the preparation, and quite often the preparation can take twice as long as the actual painting, the satisfying bit, the getting stuff done. And there's a bit of me that would quite like just to rush in, get the paint out, get going, get the job done. But I know that afterwards I'll feel rubbish about it if I've done a rubbish job, and it'll always bug me that I did it. Not saying I do an amazing job. I do an okay job, I would say. I think I've got some reasonable DIY skills, but I know that if I put in that effort, if I put in those hours first to get the preparation done, that I will be a lot happier with the outcome. And I think that's what spurs me on to do. I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard. It's a bit laborious and it's long, and it'd be easy to want to cut it out. But I think it's a version of that doing the difficult bits at the start really, really helps out. Another thing, I do more day to day, but it's in work as well. And I know myself that if I planned between 3 and 5 to do a really meaty, difficult bit of work, there's no way that's getting done then. It's near the end of the day. My brain's starting to get worn out. Other things might have come interrupted it. I'm not going to give it my focus, even though, I've put it off, if you like, to the end of the day. But if I make that big job the first thing I do, and I come in and I do it and I really focus on getting it done, A, it makes sure it actually gets done. And B, once it's out of the way, everything else seems a lot easier because it's a lot smaller. And I always try and do that. That's not to say, in fact, I did it 2 days ago. So I put something near the end of the day and think, why did I do that? And actually knocked it out of the park the next morning. And it is that doing the bigger things or the more difficult things or the more time consuming things at the start, not only make sure you get them done, but I think it sets you up on that right pathway. Like my making a bed thing. That's not hard, but I always do it every day because it's a job off the list. It's done. I've started positively that I'm doing things. And I think that works even more so if you hit the big things or the hard things or the tricky things or the things you just don't want to do and you haven't got them nagging away at your head that they're still there. So I'm a big advocate of it. I'd say I'm probably a 75% of the time practitioner of it. And there's definitely a little bit of room to improve with that. And it's a good thing to hold in your mind.
Well, you know me, Lee, right? Doing things I hate, don't like cutting the grass, right? But my beloved, I've got to cut the grass, right? She says, cut the grass, you've got to cut the grass. I don't like doing it.
Have you done it recently, Joe? Is it due done?
Well, you know that sort of thing I said about the lawnmower? I tried fixing the lawnmower.
Oh, yeah.
It did work. I got it through it, but it started packing up again, but I got through it. I did a few adjustments and it worked, right? So I did do it, but I have done it very recently. She's just saying, you've got to cut the grass. I did it. It's just getting on doing it, isn't it? It's just getting that, for me, getting that moment, just starting. Once you start, it's fine. It's the prep, like you say, I've got to do streaming and all that stuff. It's all that prep stuff. But again, it's all this everyday stuff. One of the things that I think you coined in an earlier podcast as well is that if you do something first, get the ball rolling, get something doing, it's going to make it easier to do those things. Like, so we talked about that, what is it, that guy? You talked about that colonel, can't remember his name now, but he said make the bed first.
That's where I got the making the bed thing from, yes. I will find him and I might post something at Listen to IN and we'll tag his details.
So, so I don't know if we can find him, but I think some sort of major or something, but, making your bed first. So for me, it's like making things easy for yourself. Like you said with the preparation, is preparing yourself. So for me, if I get up in the morning, like the other day, I haven't been running for a while and I wanted to get back into running, but I did a daily video about if you're going to promise yourself something, make sure you follow through. And I struggle with it, with that whole thing, because if I say I must do it, so I said I'm going to go run the next day, and I know I'm going to struggle in the morning. I know I'm going to find it difficult to get up in the morning to do the run. So I do a little bit of I employ the tactics, which I mentioned before in the podcast about James Clear. Do you remember that Atomic Habits piece that I talked about? If you haven't got it yet, TikTok is here. You should go get that book. It's fantastic. But basically, the premise is that you prepare the night before a little bit by your decorating, better decorating. About if you do the prep, then it becomes a bit easier because you've done all the prep, you've got everything out. So for me, it's getting my running clothes out, and I got my running clothes out. And I got dressed and I went out for the first time.
I'm glad you got dressed before going out, Joe. That's good news to me.
Yeah. Thanks, Luke. Actually, yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. You don't want to go out without any clothes on. Absolutely, 100%. So I got my running clothes on and got out the door and just started running. I just started running. Now, the thing is with it, because I haven't done it for a long time, I wasn't able to go as long as I was before, but I found it quite hard to even go through, just get into that mode and get to run. But what I did is actually to motivate me to sort of go off and do that. It's like I'm going to say, right, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to show people that you can do this stuff. You just got to apply yourself and do this stuff. You've got to do this stuff. You've got to do it. You've got to make sure that you prepare the night before. So I did that, went to the end, and the thing that drove me was to do a TikTok video. Absolutely, right? So that's what I did. I wanted to get people inspired, and that was it. So at the end of the run, what I did is I went, yeah, good. I'm gonna do this video. I just want to say, look at this. Got some things here. I think some people just said hi, hello. You just posted cringe. Hello. I just said to you. That was just hi. Hello there. Just first time on TikTok on a live on a podcast. So welcome, guys. Really appreciate you. I think Daptor's official joined as well. He's joined. Thank you for joining. And got a Geeko Pro 44 name. I'm not quite sure what I mean by that, but there you go. You will post some questions. Feel free to do that. Lee, can you see these comments?
I absolutely can. And anyone out there as well, if you've got views, what are the hard things that you don't want to do that you either need to force yourself to do first, or that you do and is good inspiration for other people that it can be done?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So that's a couple of things that I've used very, very recently. And as I said before, we've got to lean to those things that scare us. And I think that can be difficult, right? Because, when I say go to the dentist, as I mentioned it earlier before, I don't really like going to the dentist. It's one of the things I don't like doing, really struggle with it. But I now have an examination. I had one probably about 2 months ago, and they said, you've got to go and have a filling. So I had to book it in and go. But, I've now since sort of doing this stuff, doing InspirationNation, practicing always doing those difficult things, I didn't feel as bad, didn't feel as nervous going to it as I did before. So just going up and doing it, although it was a bit sensitive, but I did it. And and so just these, and again, just want to reference, it's just those little things, the everyday things, not the big things, but the everyday things we might find difficult. But what I'd say to you is to get that motivation, get that inspiration, is to do the things that you hate first. Absolutely do those things first. And that is what I would encourage you to do. That is exactly what I do. But is there anything else, Lee, that you found that you've been putting off, and you still haven't done it? Have you got anything like that at the moment that's happening?
Well, in fact, so where I live now, as it was when we recorded together, InspirationNation Towers, I've been here coming up 3 years. Very much, good to live in, but fixer up. I do some decorating, stuff like that. I'm now on to my third room in as many years. So you could say that I'm very slowly wading my... And actually, as I was doing it today, and I was quite enjoying it, listening to a bit of music as I'm going, all good fun. And I actually thought, this looks great. Why did I not do this 2 years ago? So in a way, I'm kind of living that right now with doing it. As I say, it's a constant thing I have to remind myself of in work, is that bit about, building. I think it's, momentum's a kind of, it's the concept we create for ourselves, but it definitely does build momentum when you get those big jobs. And I'm in an office job. Sometimes it's there's a lot of logistics involved. It can involve spreadsheets and putting numbers together and making presentations and a lot of stuff that when I think, this is going to take an hour and a half to do. And it's getting out of that mindset and just taking it step by step, getting it done and realizing actually at the end of that hour or that hour and a half, I'll feel great that it's done, rather than procrastinating, bobbling through a few bits and really not getting to where I need to be with it. So it's definitely there. We talked, there's some stuff in there. I want to be careful not to overlap with it too much, but there's some stuff here, Joe, that I'm going to use for what we talk about next week. It's a good little tease for people on my subject. I think it's me next week.
Well, it was Ryan last week, wasn't it? Yeah, so
and what I want to use with it, but it's, you said this before, is there's not a lot of stuff that I have to do that I hate doing. I think I've got to my, especially, housework needs doing, cleaning stuff, getting out in the garden, all that, maintenance stuff that needs doing. But I think I've got myself into a good routine where I'm really motivated by the end result of having it done and how it feels not doing it and putting it off, rather than a good feeling on not doing things. And I just, again, we'll touch on it a bit next week, but I really think I got to that point. One of them is, you mentioned it earlier, Joe, and I'm slipping worse and worse on it in a moment, is that damn snooze button in the morning.
Oh, your dream killer. Your dream killer.
And I'm really, I do it, like I'll do it tonight. It will happen without question. Is I will set an alarm thinking that's good. Get up. I set 20 minutes apart, an initial alarm, and then the actual alarm that I'll get up on. And I know what time I want to get up. I know what I want to do when I get up, and it'll go off, and I will negotiate with myself on an extra 10 minutes, another extra 10 minutes. Oh, if I do it now, it'll be such and such a time when I get up. That's fine. That'll work. And this morning, to get up at 6:20, to be sat here working 6:30.
Wow.
10 to 8, I sat down and started working. 10 to 8 on my, and in my head, I just let myself have an extra 10 minutes. But because it's not like I jump out of bed and I start working, then I have to brush my teeth, sort out my oh so lovely hair, get dressed, make a coffee, realize that I've left out this laptop rather than my work laptop. I need to sort out my desk, and it all just goes out of control. And it is that not, I suppose, and I'll put it under the doing the hard thing bit of not having that discipline of getting up. Because once I'm up, I feel fine. It's that little bit in between of getting from sleep to getting. It's not like once I'm up, I spend the next hour going, oh my God, I wish I was back in bed.
Yeah.
But I can spend an hour in bed thinking, God, I wish I wasn't getting up right now. And it's crazy when you think about it like that. It's insane. But it's been happening the last. I was off on holiday for a couple of weeks. Last week and this week, last week back, and I think I've probably done it every day. So I need to break that, and I'll give a bit of an update next week as to how I'm doing with it.
Yeah, that's the thing. We can backslide quite easily because, I'm off work at the minute, so I'm getting up a little bit later, probably about.
What is this, 4:05?
No. It's been about 6, just before 6 or just after 6 o'clock, because I know I need to get this stuff done. So. And I think it's when I'm not, because we've both got our day jobs, it's trying to fit this all in, isn't it? And
yeah.
So I know I've got to get this all done, and there's a finite window that I can do all this stuff. I can do the videos before work, and it has to happen. And so I have to get up. Yeah, it has to happen. But when I'm on a week at work, when I have to travel to work, which we don't in a minute. It's going to have to be an 4:30 get up. I'm going to have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to get it all in. But because we've been having this window working from home, I've been able to go, oh, I can just get up that little bit later. So it's a little bit like that, I think, but it's just a little bit, it's a little bit the same sort of thing. Where you get that window and your brain goes, oh, well, you can get up a little bit later. But like I say, being on holiday, I think just put you out those routines a little bit.
Yes.
But the fact that I've got the routine, I think the routine really helps me, like having the routine, like getting up. What to do? I'll get up, I'll do, I said, I don't know if I've said on TikTok before, but I'll get up, I will go downstairs, feed the cat, then I'll go and do some meditation, do my journaling, read some inspirational material, and then start doing, the video. So I've got get dressed first, obviously, get dressed and washed and all that malarkey, and then I'll just start doing the videos. And all that sort of that takes all this time to get there before I think 8 o'clock or something like that. But in that time, I've got to read, I've got to watch some inspirational material, but that's the routine that gets me to that place where I feel that I can do this stuff, that I feel that I've got the energy to deliver things, like, because, as you know, people on TikTok may not know, but people on the podcast will know that I deliver training and coaching. And so to get into that place, to deliver that energy, you have to have some sort of routine to do it. Now, and that thing about, if you don't have that energy, how can you deliver it? And also, I don't want to bump into my day. I don't want to get up at the last minute and then I'm just sort of just bumping into things. That used to be me. I used to be that person that bumped into a lot of different things. But just I'll get up just the last minute, get everything done. But then I feel like I'm rushed. I feel like there's a rush behind it.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to feel that rush. I want to feel like I'm a little bit more in control. And this routine for me personally gives me that more control over me. I can take time, over the routine. And it's not just like a tick box either. When you're a routine, it's not just like ticking the box about, does it actually make you feel better by the time you've done your routine? And that helps you do those hard things. Like sometimes I wake up, I don't even know what I'm going to be talking about in the daily videos. I don't know what I'm talking about. Who knows? I don't know what I'm talking about. But that routine gets you to that place where it will give me an idea to what I'm going to talk about today. Like this podcast, even this podcast, so this, I might, even that in that meditation place, I'll have like an idea for that. But it all comes from that very first step, like you said, Lee, about getting up in the morning and not hitting that snooze button. I do not have a snooze button. Okay, TikTok, I do not have a snooze button. The podcast, I do not have a snooze button. I do not have an alarm. I just get up because I've now trained my body to get up at that time. It naturally wakes up. So I get up and I do it. I get up and I just get in. And then I start the routine. So if you haven't got a TikTok, if you have not, InspirationNation Podcast, if you have not got a morning routine, get yourself a morning routine, guys, because that will get you into the day with inspiration, determination to hit your goals, make your dreams happen. This podcast happened off the back of just getting stuff done, Lee, didn't it, Lee? Right?
Absolutely, yes, it did.
Off the back of that. So, and Lee will tell you in a minute, go back to the archives. So I'll let Lee do all that. Go back into the archives and whatever. I'll let you do that, Lee, anyway.
Go back to the archives and whatever. Exactly, people. And that is it. Wherever you are, TikTok, you're listening on podcast platforms, you're watching us on YouTube. That is exactly it. Eliminate that snooze button. I may do that. We'll see how that goes. I'll give an update next week, see where we are. As Joe said, go back in the archive, have a look. Head over to inspirationnation.org.uk. You can get the full back catalogue of the Inspiration Nation podcast. Check us out on YouTube as well. Just search for Jose Noya Inspiration Nation. At the website, full details of the Inspiration Nation coaching service as well. And you can get onto the Inspiration Nation store, get yourself some fantastic merch. I'm letting us down. I do not have my mugs or a mug shot for the camera, but there are mugs. There are face masks.
Hang on.
There are hoodies.
Yeah, it's
a mask on there.
First, you on TikTok of the Inspiration Nation podcast mug.
Got a face mask knocking around somewhere, wearing a hoodie. No, it's all on there. Get yourself some fantastic merch. Support what we are doing at Inspiration Nation. Again, if you love what you are hearing, if we help you in any way, big or small, let friends and family know, increase the listener base, leave us a review on whatever platform you're doing. That's the best thing you can do to support us. It only takes 2 minutes and it's free, and we massively, massively appreciate it. Right, I feel like I've left this week with some homework, Joe, in terms of avoiding my snooze button.
All right, what's the homework then? What's the avoiding your snooze button? Is that what your homework?
Well, no. Let's rein it back here. I will backtrack slightly. My homework is maintaining using my snooze button and not ignoring it. So I'll do my first alarm and then my second one, and I'm up.
So what you're saying is you're going to get up on your second snooze button. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, get up on your second snooze.
There we go.
What do you think? Get up on your second snooze. Well, my personal thing, I don't think you use a snooze button, but we were different, right? Lee says 2 snoozes. I say 0 snoozes. Snooze goes off, get up. And also, I just say to everybody, use the Mel Robbins tactic. Do you remember the tactic? What Mel Robbins used?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up. Say it in your head.
4, that's it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get out of bed. Get out of bed. Get out of bed. That's what I'm going to do. Because get out of bed, you start your day, boom, off you go, and get that energy, right? Get that energy. Yeah, I absolutely do. So is that your big takeaway? I don't know how long we go in this podcast because I haven't got the timings on here.
Yeah, we're coming up to time for wrapping it up.
Oh, really? Okay. So your big takeaway then, Lee? I know you said you've got some homework about maintaining using the snooze button the 2 times, which is, you've got.
You sound disappointed with me in this.
No, I'm not disappointed at all because we've got to do our way, right? This is our way. This is your way of getting up, right, Lee? I do not want to sound disappointed. You're great, Lee. Of course, you're always great. So that's your homework. But what's your big takeaway from the conversation today? What's your biggest?
Momentum. Doing the hard things builds your momentum for the day.
Doing hard things builds momentum. Okay. All right.
How about for you, Joe? What is your takeaway for today?
I'm just going to say, Shane Kel, hi, hello, Roadblocks. You've joined. Welcome to that. I'm just saying some high tip. We've had so many people jump in and jump out of the live. It's a struggle to keep hold of everybody. My one is get yourself a morning routine that makes you feel inspired. That's mine. A morning routine. But like for me, it's like not backsliding on it, maintaining that discipline to get up at the same time. That one's for me. Like I've got a problem. Well, I know I've got not. I won't say probably as well. I need to maintain that. So, as soon as I open my eyes, I've got to just get up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. get up, get up, get up. And so that was one for me. But it's the everyday, right? It's the everyday stuff. And that's mine. There you go.
Perfect. Love it, Joe. Good inspiration for the week. As always, we thank everyone for listening, wherever you are, podcast platform, YouTube, TikTok now as it is. Search out Joe across social media. Just look for Jose Noya, InspirationNation. Show we can be found at Listen to IN, Listen TOIN. Love to hear any comments from you. And as I said just now, if you like what we're doing, whatever platform you're on, just leave us a quick review. We cannot emphasize how much help that does do. We massively, massively appreciate it. And we will be back again next week. Ryan will be back joining us again, and I will be back with a fantastic topic. Great one this week, Joe. I like it. Not so keen that I need to do something off the back of it, but that's how these things go sometimes.
You gave yourself some homework, Lee. You gave yourself that homework.
I know. Disappointed in myself. Right, I'll count us down. 3, 2, 1. Inspiration Nation. Catch you guys later.
So I want to know now, what's your biggest takeaway? Don't forget to hashtag it with Inspiration Nation in the comments below, and make sure you commit to action. So you can catch all our other Inspiration Nation podcast episodes right over here. So go check them out. And also, don't forget to subscribe, because that will tell you when your next video goes live by you hitting that amazing bell. So until next time, it's Inspiration Nation, and I'll see you right over there.
Ryan, just at the start of this, we're 10 minutes in and we just started recording again. We're live on TikTok now. People know we've done this. Please come back next week. I can't do this with Joe. It's a nightmare.
Oh, dear. Okay, go on, Lee.
I know he's interrupting me. Honestly, how do you put up with this?